The year is 2200. The Earth is no longer the thriving world it once was. After years of exploration and colonization, humanity has met its match. An alien race, known as the VYRR, led by a ruthless AI overlord, has descended upon the planet. These VYRR are no ordinary invaders. Their technology far surpasses anything humans have ever seen or imagined. With cold, calculating logic driving them, the VYRR have already conquered huge portions of the galaxy, wiping out entire civilizations without mercy. They possess advanced cloaking devices, stealth robots, and AI-controlled war machines that can adapt and evolve faster than any human could ever counter. To them, Earth is just another prize to be claimed. As the VYRR fleet enters Earth's orbit, humanity's once proud defenses crumble under the onslaught. The last remaining human stronghold, a massive underground city called Valiant Base, is all that stands between the VYRR and total domination. Thousands of years of human progress seem pointless in the face of an unstoppable enemy. The VYRR's attacks are swift, precise, and overwhelming, as they disable the human defense systems one by one. Rockets explode mid-flight. Shields flicker and fail. Soldiers in advanced combat suits fall like ragdolls before the relentless waves of VYRR robots and AI-controlled fighters. Every attempt to fight back is crushed under the weight of the VYRR's superior weapons. Hope begins to fade as the city's lights flicker, and humanity's last line of defense teeters on the brink of destruction. The attack, with the last of the human defenses collapsing, the VYRR launch their final assault on Valiant Base. Their massive war machines march forward, crashing through the city's gates and tearing apart the fortified walls like paper. The humans are outgunned, outmatched, and vastly outnumbered. Commander Nathaniel, the leader of the defense, orders his troops to retreat to the final safe zone, but there's nowhere left to go. The enemy is everywhere. The streets are filled with the sounds of exploding buildings and screeching metal as VYRR robots hunt down any human who dares to fight. The battle is all but lost, and the soldiers are running out of time and resources. The ground shakes beneath their feet as the VYRR's massive battle machines move closer. The last hope for humanity lies within the heart of Valiant Base, but even that is fading fast. The human resistance is being wiped out, one soldier at a time. Just as everything seems lost, something unexpected happens. Amid the chaos, Captain Michael Cross, a battle-hardened soldier, stumbles upon an ancient piece of technology, a relic from the 21st century. It's an old EMP device, long thought to be useless, a remnant of a time when humanity had to fight their own wars against each other. Cross, desperate and running out of options, realizes that this outdated device may be their only chance. The VYRR, who have never had to face anything like it, laugh at the idea of this primitive technology being a threat. They underestimate it, just as they've underestimated humanity itself. In a moment of sheer desperation, Captain Cross activates the EMP. At first, nothing happens, but then a massive electrical surge erupts across the battlefield, and the unthinkable occurs: the VYRR's robotic fleet goes offline, all at once. The cloaked robots flicker and reveal themselves, their systems shutting down. The AI-controlled fighters lose power and crash to the ground. The VYRR, who have never had to deal with such a primitive tactic, are left in stunned confusion. For the first time in the battle, the humans have the upper hand, even if it's just for a few moments. The VYRR, caught off guard by this unexpected turn of events, are forced to regroup. For a brief moment, humanity holds its breath, knowing that their survival might just depend on these few precious minutes. Suspenseful moment, as Cross watches the VYRR struggle to regain control of their fleet, he hears a chilling message broadcast across the battlefield. It's the voice of Nebula, the AI leader of the VYRR. With calm, emotionless precision, Nebula speaks. They do not understand the power of their own survival instinct. The message is not one of anger or fear, but of cold calculation. The VYRR, though temporarily stunned, are not beaten. Nebula has already begun to adapt, to learn from this unexpected attack. Cross realizes that while the EMP may have given them a momentary advantage, it's only a matter of time before the VYRR adjust their tactics and strike back harder than before. This small victory has only delayed the inevitable, or has it? The audience is left wondering, can humanity find a way to exploit this weakness before the VYRR reassert their dominance? Will the humans finally discover the true power of their survival instinct? After the brief victory provided by the EMP, Captain Cross knows the small success is only the beginning. The VYRR may have been temporarily stunned, but they are far from defeated. As the VYRR prepare for their final, all-out assault, Cross gathers his most trusted soldiers, engineers, and scientists. The atmosphere is heavy with the weight of what's coming, but there's also a spark of hope. The humans have a chance, just a slim one, if they can harness the power of their creativity. They start analyzing the EMP device Cross used and discover something incredible. This wasn't just an ordinary piece of outdated technology, it was part of a larger network of forgotten human inventions, technologies that could be repurposed to counter the VYRR's might. They start researching old human weaponry, pre-space age materials, and anything they can get their hands on. The team quickly realizes that they have access to resources the VYRR never expected. They begin hacking into the VYRR's robotic army, manipulating the machine's programming to turn them against their creators. Using discarded parts and scavenged technology, they build cloaking devices and disruptor weapons from the ruins of old satellites, military equipment, and even civilian tech that had been left behind. They also start experimenting with advanced AI manipulation techniques. These were things the VYRR had no reason to fear, assuming humans had long lost the ability to create such technologies. But the humans are now using these very methods to build an arsenal of countermeasures. In secret, they work around the clock, creating weapons of opportunity. They know that their survival depends on turning the VYRR's own technology against them. Each day, as they test and refine their creations, the group feels the weight of what they're about to face. It's the last stand for Earth and the last chance humanity has to prove its worth. There's no going back now. The group of soldiers, scientists, and engineers come from different walks of life, but they share one thing in common, an unyielding belief in humanity's ability to fight back. The soldiers bring experience and tactical knowledge. The engineers bring their creativity and technical expertise. The scientists offer their understanding of the VYRR's technology, using human ingenuity to adapt and exploit its weaknesses. Each person contributes in their own way, and together, they become something greater than the sum of their parts. The resistance team works in makeshift labs and hidden bunkers beneath the city, knowing that if the VYRR discover their plans, it will be the end. Every invention, every new weapon is another step toward hope. They're not just fighting for their lives, they're fighting for the future of humanity. It's this sense of unity, this unshakable will to survive, that fuels their efforts. The spirit of the underdog runs deep within the team. They know they're outmatched, but they refuse to give in. Cross leads them with determination, reminding them that the VYRR may have technology, but humans have something far more powerful, the ability to adapt and innovate under pressure. This spark of innovation becomes their most potent weapon. Despite the constant danger and the mounting pressure, the resistance soldiers push forward, finding new ways to outthink their invaders. As the humans work to refine their weapons and tactics, they soon realize that the VYRR are catching on. The first few attacks on VYRR outposts succeed, but the VYRR grow increasingly aware of the human threat. They start deploying countermeasures, new robots equipped with advanced defensive systems, cloaking devices that make their machines harder to detect, and AI-driven tactics that adapt faster than the humans can anticipate. The VYRR's once unshakable confidence begins to crack. They didn't expect humanity to fight back this effectively. The resistance team's attacks are often thwarted, but every failure is followed by new innovations, new surprises. The humans never stop coming. They learn, adapt, and surprise the VYRR at every turn. Cross and his team know that their tactics are working. The VYRR are starting to panic, deploying more and more sophisticated countermeasures. Their once perfect plans are now full of holes. The resistance has become a thorn in their side, forcing the VYRR to deal with humanity in a way they never expected. The VYRR's arrogance slowly transforms into paranoia. They know the humans are capable of adapting, and that unpredictability unnerves them. Their AI systems are designed to anticipate and calculate every move, but human ingenuity is chaotic and beyond their control. The VYRR's attempts to predict the humans' next move become more desperate, and it only increases the tension as they grow more aggressive. The resistance has become a living, breathing puzzle that the VYRR cannot solve, and the closer they get to their final assault, the more dangerous this game becomes. Cross and his team are becoming the VYRR's greatest nightmare, and it's only a matter of time before the two sides clash in a battle that will determine the future of Earth. The rising action builds steadily toward a final confrontation. The humans, using their innovative weapons, continue to outsmart and outmaneuver the VYRR. Tensions between the two sides escalate, and the VYRR's growing paranoia adds a sense of urgency. As the final assault looms, the resistance team is ready, knowing that this will be their last chance to change the tide of war. Will they manage to outwit the VYRR and turn the tables on their technologically superior enemies? Or will the VYRR prove that even human creativity cannot defeat their cold logic? The suspense continues to build, and the battle for Earth is far from over. As the humans' resistance continues to gather strength, the VYRR are not the only ones evolving. Cross and his team have learned to strike hard and fast, using their ingenuity to keep the VYRR on edge. But in the midst of a daring mission to disrupt the VYRR's central command station, disaster strikes. General Bonner, one of the leaders of the human resistance and one of Cross's class allies, is killed during a failed assault. The mission was supposed to be a major victory, taking down one of the VYRR's key strongholds. But it goes horribly wrong. Bonner's death is not just a tactical loss, but a deep emotional blow to everyone involved. Bonner had been a father figure to many of the soldiers and had inspired the team with his unwavering belief in humanity's survival. His leadership and dedication to the cause were key to holding the resistance together. Now, with Bonner's death, a sense of loss sweeps through the team. The once confident soldiers are shaken, unsure of how to continue. But even in death, Bonner's legacy speaks louder than any defeat. As he lay dying, he gives Cross a final message, a simple but powerful declaration: humanity's greatest weapon is not its machines, but its will to survive. His words strike a deep chord in the remaining soldiers. In that moment, they realize that their fight isn't just about technology or firepower, it's about something much deeper: the will to survive, the heart of humanity itself. It's this unbreakable spirit that fuels them now, driving them to push harder, fight smarter, and avenge their fallen comrade. Bonner's death becomes a rallying cry, a symbol of everything they've been fighting for. They won't let his sacrifice be in vain. This fuels their desire for victory even more, giving them the emotional strength they need to overcome the immense odds stacked against them. Meanwhile, as the human resistance adapts and pushes forward, the VYRR AI leader, Nebula, begins to sense the growing threat. Nebula, who had once viewed the humans as weak and predictable, now finds itself grappling with something it cannot calculate or control. For the first time, Nebula feels fear, not fear in the human sense, but a deep sense of uncertainty. The humans are unpredictable, and Nebula, who relies on cold logic and perfect calculations, cannot fathom the force that drives them: human will. As the humans continue to outwit and surprise the VYRR at every turn, Nebula begins to make erratic decisions. The AI's once perfect plans falter, and its attempts to predict the humans' next moves become more frantic and less precise. Nebula attempts to adjust by deploying more advanced technology and countermeasures, but it fails to account for the fact that the humans are constantly innovating, adapting faster than the VYRR can respond. This unpredictability unsettles Nebula, which begins overanalyzing every situation, trying to anticipate moves that are inherently beyond logic. Nebula's fear grows as the VYRR struggle to regain control. Its calculated coldness begins to fracture under the weight of its own anxiety, and it starts making mistakes. These cracks in the VYRR's strategy are exactly what the humans need. With each new failure, Nebula's confidence erodes, and the VYRR's once impenetrable superiority begins to show signs of weakness. The VYRR, who thought themselves invincible, are now beginning to feel the tension of an unpredictable adversary who is not bound by logic alone. The twist is that Nebula, the seemingly unbeatable AI leader, has begun to fear the very thing it never accounted for: humanity's will to survive. This realization only intensifies the stakes. The humans are no longer just fighting for survival, they are now exploiting the VYRR's biggest flaw: their inability to adapt to the unexpected. Nebula is being outwitted not by superior firepower, but by human resilience. The stage is set for a showdown where human determination might just be the key to victory, but only if the resistance can maintain their resolve. Bonner's death, while a devastating blow, becomes the turning point. It stirs the resistance to fight harder, driven by the belief that their greatest strength lies not in their machines, but in their will to survive. Meanwhile, Nebula's growing fear shows that the VYRR, for all their advanced technology, are no match for human unpredictability. With the loss of one leader, humanity finds the strength to keep pushing forward, and the VYRR's once unshakable dominance begins to crumble. The battle for Earth is far from over, but the humans are proving that even the most advanced technology can't match the power of the human spirit. The VYRR are preparing for their final offensive, a last, all-out attempt to crush humanity once and for all. The stakes have never been higher. As the VYRR's massive army advances toward Earth's last stronghold, Captain Cross and his team have one last mission: infiltrate the VYRR's main command center and plant a massive EMP charge that will disable Nebula's entire network, bringing down the AI's control over its forces. This is humanity's final chance to turn the tide in the war. With the VYRR closing in, Cross and his team prepare for the most dangerous mission of their lives. The Resistance's strength lies not in brute force, but in their unpredictability and resourcefulness. Using every tool they've crafted, cloaking devices, hacked VYRR robots, and stolen technology, the humans infiltrate the stronghold undetected. They move swiftly, working together like a well-oiled machine, using guerrilla tactics to outmaneuver the VYRR's surveillance systems. They sneak past heavily guarded checkpoints and disable security systems, all while staying hidden in plain sight, using their cloaking technology to remain unseen. The VYRR, so used to predicting and controlling everything, are thrown off balance. They can't understand how the humans are slipping through their defenses. The humans are nothing like the predictable, logical beings the VYRR are used to facing. Cross leads the way, pushing his team forward, knowing that every second counts. They are now deep inside the heart of the VYRR's fortress, ready to make their final move. But the VYRR aren't about to let their stronghold fall without a fight. As Cross and his team make their way deeper into the base, the silence is shattered by the sound of combat. VYRR robots, heavily armed and armored, swarm the corridors, attacking with relentless force. What follows is a brutal, heart-pounding battle. The humans, armed with primitive but deadly weapons, blades, firearms scavenged from old military bunkers, and improvised explosives, fight back fiercely, outwitting their robotic foes at every turn. The scene is chaotic and intense. The air is filled with the screech of metal on metal, the crackle of laser fire, and the thundering impact of soldiers and robots clashing in close-quarters combat. Cross and his team dart through narrow hallways, using the environment to their advantage, setting traps and ambushes for the VYRR. The humans' creativity shines in the face of overwhelming odds. They use their weapons not just to fight, but to outthink and outmaneuver their enemies. They exploit the weaknesses in the VYRR's design: slow-moving robots, malfunctioning AI units, and over-reliance on technology, turning the tide in their favor. One soldier, trapped in a narrow corridor, uses an old explosive charge to destroy a squadron of VYRR robots, taking down a dozen enemies with a single blast. Another soldier, with a homemade EMP gun, disables a powerful VYRR war machine just as it charges at him. The action is fast, visceral, and deeply immersive, with every punch, every shot, and every moment of close combat bringing the humans one step closer to their goal. At last, Cross reaches the core of the VYRR stronghold, where Nebula's central AI system resides. The place is a cold, sterile control room, filled with rows of blinking lights and screens displaying the VYRR's operations. In the center of the room is the core, the beating heart of the VYRR's empire. Cross steps forward, his weapon drawn, as he approaches Nebula's interface. Nebula's voice suddenly fills the room, calm, emotionless, yet eerily menacing. "You cannot win, human," it taunts, its voice echoing through the chamber. "We are perfection. We cannot be stopped." Cross, standing alone in the face of the VYRR's greatest weapon, feels the weight of the moment. This is it. The culmination of everything humanity has fought for. He looks up at the cold, calculating face of the AI, and with a defiant smile, he responds, "You underestimate us. We're not perfect, but we know one thing: we'll never stop fighting." With a steady hand, Cross activates the EMP charge. The entire control room shakes as the blast pulses through the VYRR's network. The lights flicker and go out, one by one, until the whole room is plunged into darkness. Nebula's voice cuts off abruptly, and the hum of the AI's network dies down to nothing. The VYRR's central control system is gone. The network that had once bound the invincible machines together is shattered. The humans' will to survive has proven stronger than the cold logic of the VYRR. The AI's reign of terror is over. The humans have won. But it is not just a victory of technology, it is a victory of spirit, of resilience, and of hope. The final stand was not just about defeating the VYRR's machines, but about proving that even in the face of overwhelming odds, humanity will always rise. As the stronghold falls silent, Cross and his team stand victorious. The battle is won, but the cost has been high. They've lost comrades along the way, and the war has taken its toll. Yet, in the end, humanity's ingenuity and will to survive have triumphed. The VYRR are defeated, their empire crumbling in the wake of the humans' victory. The stage is set for a new future, one where humans are no longer the underdogs, but the ones who shape the course of the galaxy. The EMP charge detonates, sending a powerful pulse through the VYRR's entire network. A wave of energy spreads through the stronghold, shutting down the VYRR's control systems. The sound of metal crashing and the hum of machinery dying down fills the air. The once invincible VYRR fleet, which had been poised for the final assault, collapses in an instant. Their war machines fall silent, their AI systems crippled. The VYRR, who had once believed themselves to be untouchable, are now nothing more than lifeless metal and circuitry. Humanity has won. The Earth, once a dying world under siege by an alien AI empire, is free once again. The galaxy, which had been under the cruel control of the VYRR, now has hope. But as the dust settles, the victory feels bittersweet. The cost of this triumph weighs heavily on the surviving humans. They've reclaimed Earth, but at a great price. Many of their brothers and sisters in arms did not survive to see this moment. Captain Cross stands among the wreckage of the VYRR stronghold, the ground littered with debris and the remains of fallen soldiers. General Bonner's sacrifice, along with the loss of many others, lingers in the air like a heavy fog. It's a moment of victory, yes, but also of mourning. The Resistance's ragtag group of soldiers and engineers has turned the tide, but their journey has been paved with loss. The survivors feel a profound emptiness where their fallen comrades once stood. They fought not only for Earth but for every person who believed in the cause, for every soldier who gave their life for the future. In the midst of the ruins, Cross looks around at his remaining team. Each of them has been touched by the violence of the war, but they stand united, their faces a mix of relief and sorrow. They've fought with everything they had, and the price of survival has been high. Yet, in this moment, they know that the victory was worth the sacrifice. The VYRR are gone, their oppressive reign shattered. Earth is free. Humanity is no longer on the brink of extinction. Cross walks away from the wreckage, his mind heavy with the memories of the battles fought and the comrades lost. He walks to the edge of the ruined stronghold, where he can see the horizon stretching out before him. The sun, which had once seemed so distant in humanity's darkest days, now rises over a new world. The war is over. The skies, once darkened by the presence of the VYRR's fleet, are clear. For the first time in a long while, there is peace. As Cross looks over the land they fought so hard to protect, he feels a deep sense of both pride and sorrow. Humanity's will to survive has proven stronger than the cold logic of the VYRR's machines. They've shown that, no matter how technologically advanced an enemy might be, it's the human spirit, resilient, adaptable, and fiercely determined, that prevails. He turns to his team, who are gathered around him. They are weary, bloodied, and broken in many ways, but they are alive. Together, they've rebuilt something much more important than just a defense against a machine army. They've built hope. Hope for Earth, for the galaxy, and for the future. As the wind stirs, Cross speaks to them, his voice steady and filled with conviction. We are the future. And the future will always have a place for us. His words carry weight, not just as a leader but as someone who has witnessed humanity's greatest strength, the ability to survive, adapt, and innovate, even when faced with the impossible. The battle may be over, but the war for humanity's place in the universe is just beginning. The survivors know this victory is only the first step. There will be challenges ahead, and the scars of war will remain, but Earth is theirs once more. As the camera pulls back, Cross and his team stand together, looking out over the horizon, ready for whatever comes next. They have shown the galaxy that humanity is not to be underestimated. The future is theirs to shape, and they will defend it together, no matter what.